Well, aloha and welcome everybody. Once again, I am very excited to be back to deliver to you another podcast related to your health and wellness with the wisdom of Tao Healing. And in case you are new, my name is Paul Fletcher, and this is the Healing Source. We are full on into season number 8. Each season, I've taken aspects of the Tao wisdom brought to us by Dr. and Master Sha, and I've broken them down in bite-sized pieces. We talked about in the first season about what is Tao healing and how does it work, and I did some healing examples with people. And then we went into what are the 5 elements: the wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. We've also covered the various emotions and how those can be healed with Tao healing. We spent an entire season on relationships and how you can apply Tao healing for relationships. I even did an entire season on Tao healing for transforming your finances. So if you missed any of these amazing podcasts, make sure you like and subscribe right away and catch up. There are so many nuggets of valuable insights and wisdom that have been given to us by this extraordinary Tao master named Master Sha. Now, when it comes to chakras, I have to admit, as I did in the first episode of this series, that I did not know a lot about them other than what most of us find in the typical tooling around the internet. But when I started training with this enlightened being, he brought a series of wisdom and information regarding these chakras, and most importantly, how they're so very, very interrelated to our physical health and wellness, to our emotional and mental health and wellness. There is so much lack of understanding by the general public on the importance of the chakra system in the human body. Simply put, if you have major blockages in any one of these areas of your body, it could significantly hamper the quality of your life. That's how important it is. So if you missed the first few of these, then please go back and watch them. I set the foundation for it in the first in this series. And in the last 3 weeks, I focused on chakras 1, 2, and 3. Today is arguably the most important chakra out of all of them. It is referred to in different cultures by different names. The 4th chakra is a very straightforward calling for it. Most cultures call it the heart chakra or the heart center. Curiously, though, when I was training with my teacher, Dr. Sha, he referred to it as the message center. And I remember cocking my head going, what? Really? Message center? What does that mean? Turns out that the heart chakra is extremely relevant and important in your connectivity to your source, to the creator from which you were birthed. And that source is always communicating with us in the form of intuition, soul to soul communication, even in the form of a third eye vision. So this form of communication actually utilizes channels in the body, which I'll refer to in just a minute. And the major crossroads of those channels where everything crosses over and matches up is right here in your heart chakra, your heart center. Hence the name message center, for this is where we receive messages from our soul, from our heavens teams and guides, angels and saints, and from the source. We don't receive it up here. This is where we translate it. Where we receive it is here. And therein also is a major trouble area, because if you take a look at yourself as a good example, take a look at your spouse, your partners, your kids, right? Take a look at people all around you. Very few people have a pure heart center, one that has not been harmed by life experiences. Children, for the most part, have very pure and open hearts. They are vessels of love when they come in. They haven't been damaged by their parents. I have a 3.5-year-old, and I strive to make sure I don't damage the purity of this child, because I've got my emotions, I've got my ego responses, I've got my humanness that has been drummed into me for the last number of decades. So as a child, we grow up, and we grow up into a difficult environment sometimes, where people say unpleasant things to us or about us, or about our weight, our height, our color, our race, or whatever it might be, right? And then we try to keep up with everybody else so that we get their approval, because what are we trying to do? We're trying to fulfill the emptiness that is in this area known as the heart chakra, heart center. And why are we trying to refill it? Because we know it is missing love. If we're blessed enough to have 2 loving parents, we're very, very lucky people. Even 1 loving parent. A great deal of humanity have extraordinary amount of difficulty opening the heart, giving their love. Some that do get their heart trounced on, and then they don't want to be loving anymore. They fear even opening up to a healthy relationship. There are no less than 2,000 ways that the heart itself can be very, very impacted. The spiritual heart can be very, very impacted negatively. And the relevance is, when we have a negatively impacted heart chakra, heart center, the flow of our life force from the bottom of Mother Earth, from the heaven above, the life force flow and frequency that comes through us, always in a circle, always in this channel, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then down the back. This is the chi channel. Okay, I'll be referring more to that at the end of this series. And when we have blockages in the chakras, especially in the heart chakra, it can impact everything. As simple as the dinner that you make can have a poisonous energy in it, because you're holding on to anger or resentment, or you're holding on to something that happened to you at work, or the person that pulled in front of you when you were driving and you almost had an accident. And you hold on to these things. Each one of these little bitty traumas, the big traumas, the relationship issues, all of those conglomerate right here around your heart chakra, and they create fences. And what we want to empower you with Tao healing, I want to empower you with a much higher, deeper understanding of the necessity, the absolute, unequivocal necessity to do healing practices, clearing practices for this center, literally on a daily basis. I promise you, if you do practices for healing your heart chakra, clearing your heart chakra on a daily basis, you will be a significantly happier person. Why? Well, very simply, you could do a practice in the morning, and at night, you could be on the way home and somebody could pull in front of you and almost have an accident, and you kind of freak out on them. That creates a jolt on your system, and it knocks you out of homeostasis. So the necessity to constantly monitor and clear the blockages here is of greatest importance. Now, I've created a slideshow for everybody. I have taught the chakra sessions and classes and opening your spiritual channels more times than I can count. And when you work with many different students that all have relatively different blockages in their channels and their chakras, you learn quite a bit. You learn both how to present, and you learn how to listen to what's going on for them. And then you can assist them with clearing those blockages and challenges. So let me share with you a little bit about what I'm talking about. As I said, the 4th chakra is often referred to as the message center, or most people know it as the heart chakra. And the relevance here is that if you hear me say 4th chakra, heart chakra, message center, it's the same thing. Where exactly is this energy center located at? It's in the center of your chest, and it's basically just behind your sternum. Now, it's a fist-sized center, so it's not small. And it's approximately 2 inches in girth. So if you put your fist up right in front of your chest, that's about how big your heart chakra typically is. Now, for every person, it's going to vary from person to person. And the, how do I put it? The brightness, the density of the light within the heart chakra can vary as well. It depends on how much time do they put in building it, clearing the traumas, clearing the blockages. Use that sneeze. And so this heart chakra is a very important key center for communication with your soul, with the soul world, with your heavens teams, with the source. There are 4 major channels in the human body, 3 of which are directly impacted by the heart chakra. These include what's called the soul communication channel, the soul language channel, and the direct knowing channel. So what exactly are these channels? This is not the time and place to be going into any depth on these. I've done entire teachings on these. But each of them are ways or aspects through which your soul and the soul world is constantly in communication with you. If you think for a moment that you are not being constantly communicated with by your own soul, by your source creator, then you are far too lost in your mind. You are far too separate from your truth. Your truth is that you are a soul having a physical experience, not the other way around. And a lot of us, we go through 10, 20, 30 years before we wake up to the spiritual journey. And then we do another 10, 20, 30 years before we learn some of this information. So if you want to put expedition into your soul journey growth, clear your heart chakra. And I don't mean going to some expo fair somewhere and having somebody wave a rose crystal over your heart, or even buying one and leaving it over your heart. Yes, it does bring some value, but it absolutely does not clear lifetimes of trauma. It doesn't clear unpleasant relationships. That requires a little more Tao healing, a little more wisdom and practices, because those kinds of experiences are in essence negative memories and expressions that have attached to the entirety of your soul, not just your heart chakra. So they need to be addressed holistically. Now, going back to this, these channels then become very pertinent, because if you want to receive guidance, your soul might say, that person's probably not good for you. But your mind says, yes, but I haven't had a relationship in 29 years and I'm struggling here. But your soul knows that person not going to be good for you. But if your heart center is closed because you're operating out of fear or your mind, then you're not going to follow that guidance. You're going to follow the mind and not the heart. Again, reasons why we want these channels open. Let's continue. There's so much more I have to cover. This session will be longer than my normal half hour today. It's just the nature of this subject matter. Excuse me just a moment. Okay. So it is the key for opening your spiritual channels, as has been discussed. It is the center for your negative information, what is often referred to in Buddhist teachings as karma. Your thoughts, your words, your actions that are not of benefit to others. That's where a lot of this resides. It's the center for your healing. Most of us want to heal our emotional heart. And yet, when we hold on to these things, we are unable to release. It's the center for love and forgiveness, obviously. How many times do we say, I've forgiven that person, but when we see them, we turn the other way? Or we are not interested in talking to them. I forgive them, but I'm not interested in talking to them. True forgiveness happens when you clear your heart center properly. It's a center for compassion and, of course, light. Life transformation and soul enlightenment. That's not something you just cross over. It's a center for life transformation. It's a center for enlightenment. Those are 2 subjects that take a half hour each. Transformation is the removal of all things that are not serving you in your journey. And enlightenment is your whole vessel, the entirety of you being more light than dark. When you reach that 50% point, your soul sits in your heart center. I should say 51%. What is 51%? Service to others. When you are 51% or more service to others on a consistent basis, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, your soul journey brings to you more and more opportunity to serve and be of value. And your soul grows and grows and grows. Your positive information, all your thoughts, words, and actions literally fattens your soul. You become a golden being, bigger, 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 brighter, brighter, and your soul rises up the soul houses until it sits in your fourth chakra. That's the first layer of enlightenment. And I don't have enough time to go into all the other layers of it, but do know that it is directly associated with your heart center. So when you daily do very simple practices to help you keep your heart clear, then you are positively benefiting your future. You are removing things that might block you tomorrow, and you are positioning yourself to hear more pure messages from your soul in the soul world. Of course, you're positioning yourself to be a happier person. It's just a natural side effect. Let's look at the next one, shall we? It is the center of love and unconditional love. What's the difference? Unconditional love means you give without any expectation of return. The vast majority of us enter into relationships giving love with an expectation of return. Doesn't matter what the relationship is. Few exceptions could be parents or children. It's unconditional in most cases. It is the center for joy. It is the center of balance. What kind of balance? Emotional balance, mental balance. It is the center of attraction. Have you ever noticed that people that are more loving, more kind, more attractive, even if they're not physically attractive to what you might call physically attractive, there's something about that person. I don't know what it is. And you're not thinking about their physical attractiveness. What is it? That's their heart center. They're literally radiating love. It's also the center that offers and receives love. You know, of course, we were going to receive it in many different ways, but this is the central point. It's the center for ability to accept. To accept what? To accept what is. How many of us get stuck every day? We get stuck by, I can't believe they said that to me. I can't believe he pulled in front of me like that. We're stuck. We do not let it go. The highest wisdom is, it is what it is. It's already behind me. Even if it's 10 seconds behind me, it's not in front of me unless I go back there and vacillate on it and put it back in front of me so I can create more irritation for myself. When we let go, when we accept what is, there is far more room in our heart for what is good and beneficial to us. It's the center for letting go, or the center for the ability to accept. It's the center for permission. Isn't that interesting? When you are giving permission, are you giving it from your mind or are you giving it from your heart? It would be a good idea that you ask that question when somebody is asking you for permission or you are offering permission. Is it coming from your heart or is it coming because you have to? Because that will close your heart. It's a center for offering and receiving forgiveness. This is one of those daily practices that is probably the single most important thing you can do to open your heart. And forgiveness for what? Forgiveness for beating yourself up, forgiveness for feeling guilty about whatever it might be. I was on a phone call earlier with a truly beautiful soul. She takes in animals, typically farm animals, that have issues, blockages, health issues. The farmer died and they can't take care of them anymore, or they're on their last leg, she just takes them in. And she took in a couple of goats, and one of them passed away. And she had guilt because a person that she had entrusted to put them in at night didn't. Therefore, they were left out in the cold rain, and they decided to leave. So she had this guilt. Because I have done the work of clearing my heart center, I was able to connect to a clear channel and offer her a message that helped her to release guilt from her heart center. So not only does an open heart center help you to receive pure messages, it can help others to not hold on to things, to forgive themselves and to forgive others. Virtually all of us have had an unpleasant relationship or two that we can instantly refer to, just something that I don't ever want to go there again, right? Most of us have one of those. You will know when you've truly forgiven, when you can be in that person's field and have no animosity. You don't have to be around them, you don't have to talk to them, but there's zero animosity, there's zero old memory that flies in. Okay, if you have an old memory that flies in, that's what you need to do forgiveness on, because that wasn't resolved. And that, whatever that old memory was, it might be 10 or 20 of them, is still blocking your heart center. Trust me, it's blocking your heart center. It's disallowing you from feeling safe in a different relationship where something else like that might occur in the future. There's a lot of people I talk to that they simply cannot attract a good relationship to them because they're too fearful to enter into a relationship, because they haven't resolved things properly. Tao healing empowers people using the right tools and techniques, wisdom, to be able to just address it directly. It's not a meditation, it's actual practice. It's actual working with forgiveness practice, working with the calligraphies or the healing methodologies, and extracting those roots without digging them up and rubbing mud all over you, which is what often happens with the psychiatric approach. This addresses it at the level of origination, at the level of soul. Because remember, every thought, every word, and every action that you allow into your vibration, whether you offered it or whether you received it, it came into your vibration. So every thought, word, and action enters your field. And it's there until you remove it. And no amount of psychology is going to remove a vibration. Your willingness to address it directly, forgive yourself, forgive others, will. And other higher level healing will do that as well. It is the center for sadness and suffering, and closing to love. I think we've covered that pretty well. So it is also, if you want to heal your physical heart, right? The one that pumps, got the 4 ventricles and bowels and the physical heart. If you want to physically heal that heart, you really need to pay attention to your heart chakra. This goes back to what I was sharing in almost all the teachings that I do, Master Sha's teachings as well, that we are 99% space. We're a very, very small percentage of this thing called matter. We live our life like we are 99.99% this matter, this name, this Paul, this person, I am I, and we live our life as if this is the all and the everything. But in actuality, we are a soul having a physical experience. When this body dies, it becomes worm food, it becomes part of this earth. And the soul goes on with all the experiences. So the question is, what were your experiences and what did you do to create the greatest love while you were here? What did you do to clear the chakras and your energy body? What was creating the problems in your energy body? Every thought, every word, every action. That's what created problems in your energy body. Where do all those thoughts, words, and actions go? Especially the negative ones. They go in the spaces. Where do the positive ones go? They go in the spaces. Which one do you want more of? Okay. So the chakra represents the largest space right here in the chest cavity. And guess what it impacts? The lungs and the physical heart. So if you have a lot of heart chakra related traumas, that's a lot of negativity energy in your field. That negative energy in your field will impact the matter in a negative way. It's just common sense. I have done soul operations. I have delivered Tao light transmissions to people for healing their emotional suffering, their trauma, their relationship. I spent an hour with one woman, and she was just in very difficult place because she hadn't found a relationship for 4 years. Nobody loved her. She had all this self-doubt, self-criticism. I worked with her and worked with her and did healing and worked with her and helped her with forgiveness. And I did a soul operation and I sent her a light transmission. At the end, about the last 20 minutes, she was clearing up and stopping and crying, and she was feeling better. And about the last 5 or 10 minutes, she goes, "Oh, wow, my back pain's gone. My shoulder pain's gone." I'm like, "Well, how long you had it?" She says, "Oh, at least a year." I says, "Well, what do you mean a year? Did you try chiropractor?" She says, "I tried everything. Nothing's works. Like somebody had a vice grip on my back and my shoulders, and it's just gone." This is proof that our energy body affects the physical body because of the various trauma, the sadness, the grief, everything she was holding on in her heart chakra that we did clearing on. We cleared the energetic space. Her physical body responded to reflect that. Heal the soul first, and the mind and the body follows. It's a simple one sentence secret that Master Sha brings, but often we forget the simple wisdom. If you want to heal your physical heart, heal your heart chakra. It's the same thing for the entire area, as I've just shared with you. So this is also referred to as the fire gear in various teachings, and Buddhist teachings refer to it as the fire gear. And it can impact, as you see here, the collarbone, the arms, everything. That whole area can be impacted. So apologize about the lighter text here. The heart chakra is probably the most important of all the centers, and I have to admit, based on my experience of teaching it and working with it, absolutely it is. It is the major contributor to your highest health and happiness. It houses the mind and the soul. In traditional Chinese medicine, they say that this fire element is in charge of the mind and the mental body. Isn't that curious? My teacher has helped many people that have very high level, very, very big psychiatry level blockages, with the big labels on them. Not small labels, the big ones where people have to take pharmaceuticals just to keep it under control. And he takes no claim for any success. He always says, "Go see your doctor, do what you need to do." But he has offered quite a few blessings for people to help clear the message center blockages. And in many cases, it has helped people to move to recovery much, much, much faster. So the TCM, traditional Chinese medicine approach, acknowledges that the heart chakra is the fire element center, and by working on it, you can affect the mental body. The heart chakra, when blocked, can create significant problems for your entire body, as we've been discussing. It's also directly related to the quality and accuracy of flow. Flow is, as I shared earlier, hearing a message, right? I shared with you how the woman had lost one of her farm animals, and she was distraught. And I was able to connect and receive a pure message, offer that to her, and it helped her move from that distraught place. And it also helped her to not take in that guilt into her heart center. So if you want to be able to hear your soul, hear the source, hear the soul world, your own heavens teams, work on clearing your heart center. Okay? All right, let's wrap up here. The heart center, if fully open, these are some of the things you can expect. You can be stress-free. Who doesn't want to be stress-free? You can improve the quality of your sleep. Raise your hand if you have sleep-related issues. There's a reasonable possibility that some of those blockages is because you are holding on to some kind of an issue in your heart center. You were harmed, you were hurt, you were lied to, cheated, stolen, money issues, probably blocking your heart center. Okay. Manifestation can become significantly more effortless because why? Because you're not vacillating on it with your mind. Your heart trusts. You're in alignment with Source. Source delivers for you what you request, always. And if your mind gets in the way, Source will deliver what your mind requested. When your heart is fully open, all forms of spiritual communication is natural and easy. all forms of spiritual communication. That includes the ability to know when you are being given a message, say, by the cloud above, or by a song that happens to come on, or by, uh, 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 the words on somebody's shirt as you walk by them. Heaven talks to us in many ways, but when your heart is open, you catch the messages. When your heart is fully open, relationships self-resolve through the love that radiates from you, because you don't take anything personally. Body health and wellness is natural and effortless when your heart center is open. Agelessness and rejuvenation is possible. Who doesn't want more of that, right? Financial concerns dissolve because you simply know all is taken care of, and you are free of judgments, free of criticism, ego, and you're free of the control of the outcome. These are all expected and known side effects of a fully open heart chakra. Think of it. If you were a fully enlightened being, would you even worry about anything? Would you have judgment? Would you have criticism? Would you worry about the outcome? You would be going with the flow because you're in alignment. It's much easier to be in alignment with our source creator that resides in our heart center when we do not block ourselves. You are one with life and all things. And finally, you are trouble-free because everything is perfect for that moment in time, and for the next moment, and for the next moment. So let's move now into a little practice for the heart center so that we can take this with us and use it anytime. Okay, we're going to do a couple simple things. Now, for those of you that are listening to this on podcast at some point in the future, right now I'm live on a video. Obviously, do not do some of these practices with your eyes closed if you're driving or anything like that, okay? So, the heart center, located in the center of your chest. And I want you to see golden light. This is going to be your creative visualization, golden light. We're going to use a mantra of the sound power ah. Just like when you go to the dentist, ah, say ah, and they look down your throat, the doctor does, right? This sound power has been around for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, and it vibrates the center of your torso. Very simple thing you can do. You can wake up and in the shower, just chant ah, ah, ah. Now, at the same time, we're going to thump our chest just a little bit. We're going to tuck our thumb inside our hand, and we're simply going to thump on our chest. And we're going to chant ah at the same time. This is the stage one. Let us begin. Ah. This vibrates the physical area, of course, and helps to release any tension that you might be holding here. Just this physical step can actually help quite a bit. It doesn't have to be hard, but it also, you don't want to tippy tap it. Good. Okay, you might even feel a little vibration there. I do. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to connect. Now you can do this by simply relaxing your palms over your lower abdomen. You can do this by placing your hands in like a prayer position. And with our wisdom and teachings, we place the left hand over the heart center, and the right hand remains in prayer position as if we were in prayer position. We just drop the left hand over the heart center. And the wisdom is that this is called a hand mudra, or an energy hand position, where the light comes into the right hand and then into the heart center. So whatever you're comfortable with, close your eyes and let us connect. Soul power. Repeat silently. Dear the soul of my heart chakra, I am so grateful for you and all that you have meant to me in this life. Please forgive me all the times in this life I have allowed unpleasant thoughts, words, or actions to enter you. I'm so sorry any harm you may have experienced. Please forgive me any of my own thoughts, words, and actions that I have brought into you. Would you please open yourself fully, release these old thoughts, these old traumas, old memories, old patterns. You have the ability to do this. Do a good job. Now let us connect to all the beings of love and light. Continue. Dear my source, dear my creator, and dear my soul and all of my heavens team members, all the beings of love and light. Now, if you align to certain beings of love and light, by all means, call them. All any you align to. Dear Jesus, Mother Mary, dear Buddha, Amitofu, Krishna, name them, call them. Ask them to serve you. They are unconditional servants. They're happy to help you to open your heart more. Could you please come? I would be so humbled and grateful if you could bless my heart center to release any blockages so that I can be happier and healthier. Thank you. And if you happen to have light transmissions or healing transmissions, turn them on. Dear my light transmissions, dear my healing transmissions, please turn on. Please bless this practice while I am doing this. Thank you. And one of the most important in setting up for this healing is forgiveness practice. So repeat after me. And dear humanity, dear all those, especially in this life, that I have been in any form of relationship with, if I have ever offered unpleasant thoughts or words or actions towards you, if I have not forgiven you, if I have been angry towards you, resentful towards you, if I have blamed you instead of taking responsibility, whatever I have done that might have created negative information in your heart center, I sincerely, sincerely apologize. I know I have been on the receiving end of other people's anger, resentment, frustration, loud voice. I have been on the other end of some very unpleasant experiences, unpleasant thoughts, words, and actions. I have not enjoyed some of them. But I recognize I wish to open my heart and release these now and forever. So if I have ever harmed you in any time, please forgive me. I open my heart now to release you of any imbalance that might be between us. Let us have love between us. Thank you. This is an example of forgiveness practice you may choose to work with. So what do we do now? Well, we can simply chant, ah, and as we chant, see light coming into our chest from 360 degrees. Remember, we've invited all the beings of love and light. They're already sitting in our heart center blessing us. So let us see light radiating out and clearing any negative information. Deep breath in. Ah, 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 ah. See light coming in. See the clouds of negative messages leaving your whole heart center. I want you to see it gathering light, condensing light, becoming brighter and brighter. Start to expand it. Let us chant. Ah, 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 ah. And now we'll chant ah 3 times. Deep breath in. Ah, ah, ah. All one breath. Breathe in. Ah, ah, ah. Ah, 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 Now I'm going to offer a blessing to all those that are live now or watching on recording. So make your request, what it is you would like to receive. This blessing will be for your heart center. If you have any specific area of blockage, could be your physical heart if you have a physical heart issue, but request something that you believe is probably blocking your heart from being open. Okay, just one thing. I'll give you 30 seconds. Go ahead and choose now. Okay. I'm turning on a healing transmission that I have. I ask this healing transmission as appropriate to please offer a blessing to everybody's heart center for their request. Start. And I will chant a mantra to assist. Wong mani ba ma hong, wong mani ba ma, wong mani ba ma hong, 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 wong mani ba ma. This mantra has been used for many thousands of years to assist people to open their hearts. Wong mani ba ma hong, wong mani ba ma hong, mani ba ma hong, wong 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 mani ba ma. Wong mani ba ma, wong mani ba ma hong, wong mani ba ma hong, wong mani ba ma hong. One more minute. Wong mani ba ma hong, wong mani ba ma hong, wong mani ba ma hong. Wong mani ba ma hong, wong mani ba ma hong, wong mani ba ma hong. Wonderful. So check in with yourself. If you had anything measurably off coming in, anger, anything like that, you could actually notice a significant difference, a measurable difference in that short 5 minutes of practice. And honestly, this is often all it takes if you're consistent on a daily basis. So what did we discuss today? We discussed that this fourth chakra is often referred to as the message center. And the message center is very likely the most important energy center in our entire body. It's the gate through which all of the soul communication occurs between us and the source and us and our own soul. And it is key to the entirety of this upper torso. When we have blockages here, it can impact the way we bring ourselves into the day, the way we bring ourselves into our future. So by practicing daily, chanting, for example, tapping your chest a little bit, doing a forgiveness practice for anything that you might have thought, said, or did that could bring imbalance to this area of your body. By doing this on a consistent basis, you can and very likely will be happier. Now, this practice that I did was actually a very beginner practice. With the ongoing classes that are available through many of the teachers worldwide, or through my website, wellspringoflight.com, you can get daily practices or more advanced practices. You could also, like that one young woman who had significant trauma in her life, I worked with her for an hour and did some special transmissions for her, and her shoulders cleared up, her neck and back was free of physical pain. Clearly, she felt much better emotionally and mentally, but the physical representation can go to show you just how difficult our body is dealing with the traumas and the different life challenges that we can have. So if you wish to know more, then go to my website, wellspringoflight.com. I have a free membership package for 5 days. You can give it a try. And of course, I do private sessions. And for all those that are here with me live, I see your comments and your posts. I'm very grateful for your presence. Thank you for liking and sharing on the various social medias. And I invite you to subscribe to my podcast if you have not already. I'm on all the major players. And I will see you here next week when I go into the 5th chakra, the throat chakra, and you're going to learn about why do we have so many blockages in this area, how it can impact your neck, how it can impact your willingness to say something or not say something, and why it might have some associations with your thyroid as well. So I look forward to sharing that with you next week. And until then, have an awesome day, everybody. Bye-bye.